Brewmas, everybody. This is an exciting episode because not only do we have local brewery MountainView here, we also have with us Adam Kyle, the co-owner of MountainView Brewing Co. This is very exciting. We're very excited to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
To be in studio.
Of course, yeah. The little room I shed. It's what a great way to kick off the Brewmas celebration and a very long day we have ahead of us. So, Adam, do you want to explain a little bit? This beer was a small batch before, right?
Yeah, that's right. We first brewed it last spring. It was actually started as a collab with a couple of the breweries for International Women's Day. And we liked the concept. We wanted to make some tweaks and kind of like make what we thought was like a better version of it, essentially. So we decided to just run it as a full release and put it in cans and do the whole thing.
Awesome. So what is the, normally we go over like the read-up, but I feel like you should.
Sure, yeah, so called it Staycation. So it was named because of COVID, basically, because no one's allowed to travel anywhere, and that's starting to change. But so yeah, we were trying to bring some, tropical kind of vacation-y vibes to, sitting in Hope when it's dreary and rainy like it is today, which it is a lot this time of year. So it's a Hazy IPA, but we also did a secondary ferment with Pink Guava puree as well. So it just brings lots of that tropical goodness.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Well, should we crack into these? We have brought out, as we showed last episode, we moved away from the moose mugs we previously had. So you missed out, we had moose mugs. The MountainView Brewing flight glasses, which we'll be using for the rest of the month to keep us alive.
It's a good decision.
Yeah, it was the right call to make.
I thought about bringing the 16-ounce glasses, but
oh yeah. Well, we also have your guys' shines over there.
Oh, nice.
So that is
Yeah, we use those all the time.
That's the default. But for this, I thought we do want to
Yeah,
do it. I thought it was
it's
this
smarter to do that. We'd actually survive.
Yeah. Here, okay, let's crack these open. Hey, you think one can get through the three of us?
Yeah.
I don't want to over crack cans.
no, you gotta
All right.
save it for later.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. So now, I gotta know. Generally with beer, are you more of a foam guy, or what are your thoughts on that?
Always fun.
Always foam.
Always fun. The foam actually serves a bit of a purpose. It helps to bring out a lot of the aromas and stuff like that. So, and sometimes even like if you should do it side by side. Like pour one with foam, pour one without, and just see what you think. I find the one with no foam will sometimes, if the ferment wasn't as clean as it could be, then it'll show some flaws and stuff like that. Where even the foam will help to kind of dissipate some of those things.
Really?
But it also, the things you want in the beer are going to come out way fuller and nicer with foam.
That's awesome. I got made fun of a lot at local bars and pubs because I always ask for foam. Because there was a long time where they what do they call it? I think it's very insulting names because but they would not gonna say where in town. There's literally 2 locations it could be.
Yeah.
They would pour my beer and then pour the pint and then they would, when they figured it was mine, oh, there's no foam on it, so they'd stir it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how they just don't know how to pour with foam. It blew my mind.
There's definitely a bit of a technique.
Yeah, I first started drinking beers when I was in Europe, and I mean that's like you have foam with your beer.
Yeah.
Here I think a lot of people, they go out, if they have foam, they're not getting their money's worth. If you need the foam though, thank you. I just need the justification.
Yeah,
this has
it's
been
like
fantastic.
beer quality versus just like sheer
Mass. Yeah, exactly. Well, here, cheers. Merry Brewmas.
Merry Brewmas, indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know why we started doing that.
I don't know, it's just awesome, dude.
Oh man, I love this. Oh wow, you can taste. I have had we both had the Staycation in the small batch, but I can't taste the, like kind of the bit
Oh, this is good.
of change that you guys did modifying it. It's
So,
been quite a while since I've had it.
Yeah, I mean that was a ways back. I think we sold out of that one. It was draft only, and that was gone kind of last, I don't know, May or June or something. So yeah, the original one we actually put flake coconut in because we wanted tropical fruit
Is
stuff.
there pineapple in this?
No, there is no pineapple. We do put the pink guava, so there is some fruit. But the hop bill, like for the dry hopping and stuff, is Mandarina Bavaria, which gives a lot of that kind of tangerine flavor. Idaho 7, which has become kind of a mainstay for us, which you'll get some citrus, a little bit of tropical fruit. You also get some of that, kind of the dank kind of Pacific Northwest hop profile, right? And a little bit of floral as well. And then the last one, which is kind of a new one for us that we've played with a little bit, is called Sagro. And I don't really know much about that hop, but it does give a little bit of a pineapple-y, kind of coconutty vibe
Oh,
to it.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like a pretty new hop that's just been on the market for a few years.
That's really cool, actually. Wow. Hops is like a whole other ball game.
Oh,
That's like a whole thing.
For sure.
Wow. I mean, that's awesome. So, what got you started kind of wanting to have a brewery? Or, were you home brewing before? Or did you just I just want to do it and went for it?
Yeah, no, I was absolutely homebrewing for a while. I probably started homebrewing when I was, let's just say I was 19 at the time. But I kind of have even memories of when I was a pretty young kid, my dad doing, homebrew kits in the basement. And, I mean, back then it was, I never tried any of his beer, but I'm guessing it was not as good as homebrew is these days. Putting it into PET bottles and stuff, and there's just hundreds of bottles, and I'm like, what is going on down here, right? And then I started kind of homebrewing, like I said, when I was 19. Didn't have that much success using just those kits from the grocery store and stuff like that. And then got off of it for a while, but then, probably 7 or 8 years later, kind of picked it up again when I had, young kids and needed a hobby that would keep me closer to home, I guess. And just really kind of fell in love with it, really enjoyed it. Didn't make very good beer for a while, but started to get a little bit of success. And I guess around that time was when craft breweries in BC, and especially in the Lower Mainland, were really taking off. So a lot of the the really well-respected breweries that have been around for a while, were just getting their start, and it was just a really exciting time to be able to try some new things other than, lager or, I guess you could get stout, but there wasn't a lot in between.
Right. That's awesome. That's such a cool cool thing to do. It's insane. I mean, the brewery has been really successful in town. It always seems busy or doing well. You guys always have stuff going on. Are there any events you have coming up? You just had congratulations, you're 1 year old.
Yeah,
as
that was
of
just a few days ago.
Wednesday?
Yeah, that's right. We had big plans for a huge rager of a party, but
Of course.
for those listening, we just had massive, I guess they keep calling it an atmospheric river, came through town. So there's massive flooding and mudslides. And, it just didn't seem like the right time to have a big party.
Yeah,
So,
understandable.
we're postponing it. We don't have a date set yet, but I think tentatively it's going to be in January.
Yeah. That's awesome though, exciting. And you guys are gonna be running Christmas markets for a couple weekends
Yeah,
coming up,
that's right. So December 5th and 15th, we've got local artisans coming in and selling their wares. So everything from hand knitted toques, we've got candles, pottery, handmade jewelry as well. So a little bit of shopping before you get right into the heart of the Christmas season. We're starting to run trivia night as well. So the first one's going to be on Monday, this coming Monday, and we'll hope to be doing that. We've been running yoga at the brewery on Sundays, which has been pretty popular. And I don't know. We're trying to think up lots of other fun events to get people out and enjoy the space.
I mean, that's wicked. Hope is not, for everybody who's not from Hope, it's not known for its winter activities necessarily. Other than leaving Hope, which is probably the main one. So having a hub, kind of a place where there's stuff going on. I mean, we go there every now and then just to play pool and hang out, of course, because the atmosphere is good.
We got a snooker table there. I've heard it's the hardest table in town because it's got the real narrow pockets.
Yeah, the small pockets. Yeah.
And we got a foosball table, and we just got a bunch of board games and stuff too. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the food, you guys have a top tier kitchen, always with like
Yeah,
you know
flatbread.
exciting
Flatbread.
food options, very popular within town.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Oh yeah, cheers, cheers everybody. I know I've just been slowly sipping my between questions.
Oh yeah, forgot.
I still don't know why we do that.
I don't
Actually,
know.
it's kind of a.
Just do that all the time.
It's interesting.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
from. I
It
feel like it's
is.
from like all like the is it King's Cup, right?
Oh yeah, all the rules
Like,
we
you
had
gotta
to
like
cling
tap
that.
before you drink.
Oh,
And
there's
now
so
we
many
just
rules.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now we just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I can't remember the rules to King's Cup.
No, well, everybody's different ones. Those are mine.
Yeah,
yeah.
So the house rules.
Yeah.
No, it's a whole thing. Actually, I was gonna ask. So, what would you? What kind of? What's your go-to beer? Like as a category, maybe not a specific beer.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, I always go for. I don't know. Depends on the weather. Depends on the day of the week. Depends on the time of day,
Yeah.
probably. I think lately I've been really enjoying, like dark lagers and like easy drinking dark beers have been a big thing for me lately. But I do, I enjoy drinking IPAs and I got really into, the Hazies for a while. Yeah, I mean, I'll always come back to a nice lager though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Always.
I get that. I feel that.
Yeah, I've been a big hazy guy lately. So.
Yeah. I mean, we started the show, and as far as beer goes, I get, what's on tap at the pub maybe, but we were never really, IPA was never something that
Yeah.
either of us would touch. We started the show, and we had was it 2 IPAs that episode? The first episode we did? 2 or 3? Or were they just?
There was the one.
There was the
and
one.
then there was like a wheat ale, Northwest wheat ale.
Yeah. But they we started, and it didn't take actually very long for us to get into them. I mean, with the show, I think we really started I went from I'd probably say I like really dark beer, which still my favorite beers are anything dark. I love stouts. I love black beer, anything that's like that. That's my go-to. I mean, not really in the summer necessarily, but I always take it back. It's like I'm having a Sunday roast, a nice Sunday dinner, and that's the beer I'm drinking. But I love Sunday roasts. I love a nice big dinner meal, and so I love the beers.
Yeah.
So it's big for me.
Yeah, I was a big Corona guy, and that was all I drank.
And then we did the show.
Yeah.
The show.
Yeah.
And it's a
Like
very
the,
different
like
ballgame.
the first time I ever had craft beer was when it was it was my 20th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys opened up and we had a few flights, and my favorite one was First Blood Orange.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was the one which we did do on the show on episode 5. We have had,
Yeah.
which is our
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
our currently our highest ranked beer on the show.
95.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we keep a tally.
Yeah, I think that's been our top selling beer since we opened.
I mean, it's a great beer. If you're really into beer, you can get a lot out of it. I find.
Yeah.
But if you're not huge into beer, or if you're
It's a
maybe
good
starting to get into
option to like.
it is. But you can still find a lot in it. With
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun one to work on, and it's originally I don't know, just when we were planning to move back to town and with the brewery, we kept hearing, we were talking to people we know in town and just getting out there and talking to people. What would you want to see at a brewery, basically? What are you interested in? And a lot of people just kept saying, you gotta have a Rambo beer.
Yeah.
So I think that I was thinking there's probably a more obvious way to make a Rambo beer, but we wanted to go less obvious. And I think it really just started with the name First Blood Orange. I can't remember. There's a lot of debate in the business in our families. My wife is my business partner, Danielle, and amongst our families there's also a lot of debate. Who came up with that name, right? And but it really started with that, and then just kept on brewing new versions of it. And even since we released it, we tweaked it a little bit. And, but it's been the same thing for quite a while now.
Yeah.
It was supposed to just be a seasonal thing, but then there was so much demand that it's kind of become like a seasonal core beer that we just try to have all the time.
Yeah, it seems like a serious staple beer for other places. So you discussed with this one, the original was working with other breweries. Is there a lot of connection and communication between the breweries? I mean, BC is full of craft breweries. Just the valley alone is full. We keep hearing about ones that we never knew existed.
Oh, totally. I
like
can't
every
even
day.
keep up with all of them.
Yeah. So are you guys pretty like in touch with other breweries? Is that like kind of a big
yeah,
thing?
totally. Like, I just think if you work in the industry for a while, like you just kind of get friends, and then they move out to other breweries, or they open their own breweries, and then you keep in touch. And so I know between myself and Danielle and our head brewer Sho, who I actually used to work with a different brewery, we've got a pretty big network of people that we like to keep in touch with because we're friends.
Yeah.
But also, if we have a question about something, whether it's regulations in BC or some aspects of business or maybe a more specific brewing thing, we've always got someone that we can reach out to.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, the province is loaded with breweries up and down, and I mean, all with kind of their own thing, right? There's always like something very unique about craft breweries. So it's really cool that there's like a line of connection. I mean, yeah, it makes sense if you have a brewer from one brewery who's transferring to a new or moving to a new area, works at another brewery. Obviously, we then keep those connections.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. That's really cool.
Yeah, we're actually got a collab coming up. Well, we brewed it already, but during that whole atmospheric river mudslide flooding situation, there was 1,200 people stranded in Hope for like 3 or 4 days. So one of those people stranded in Hope happened to be the brewer from ABC, another beer co in New West.
No way.
So we kind of connected with him, and then we hadn't been able to get any grain shipments or anything, but we had some malt kicking around. We had a few bags of hops. So Sho and Jamie were able to work on a collab together, and then he didn't actually get to come for brew day because they opened the highway the night before, so
just
he
go.
hightailed it out here.
Yeah.
They got everything in place ahead of time, so Sho was able to brew that and pull that off, and it's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be a double IPA.
Oh, that's cool. That is awesome. That's so exciting. Stuff like that's so cool that you can just do that and make that happen.
Sometimes it's nice to be organized, and like a lot of times we try to have a lot of planning that goes into a release, months and months in advance, right? 'Cause you gotta get the labels designed, and you gotta register it, and you gotta even just coming down to like just getting it packaged right into kegs and cans and stuff like that. But sometimes when you have the opportunity to kind of jump on something last minute and kind of throw it together, that can be really exciting too, just to see what happens.
Yeah, give it a shot. Take it for a spin. I mean, Staycation was kind of along the same lines, right? And now it's a full time.
Yeah, and actually I should give a shout out to so Sho's wife, Novia. She is also her and Sho have been home brewing for many years. And I think that if Novia wanted to be a professional brewer, she'd totally do it. She's got another job, so she does do that, but she was this is her recipe essentially. Like, she was the driving force with our end of the collab originally, and then when we tweaked it and made it into a full release, this is her handiwork, right?
That's awesome.
She was too busy to actually come brew it, so Sho did the brew, but
Yeah, this is her creation in a sense.
Yeah. So what's like the process like? Do you what type of beers do they go for right away? Like, you think of like a type of beer and then you just we want to make that, or like kind of what's the theme going? Like, do you go for like the exact theme and
I think it really
kind of thing?
It really depends a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think the earlier beers was more me thinking what would I want to drink at a brewery.
Yeah.
So the first 4 releases were pretty much initially that was kind of like I had done most of the work on that. Now since then, tweaking them to get it up to production and everything, Sho worked with me a lot on some of the recipes and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it really depends. Danielle has had a lot of great ideas as well, and she was never like a beer drinker, so I know Sho and I really value her opinion because she's coming at it from like a totally different angle.
Yeah.
And some of our most popular beers have just been ideas she's had. Like, I don't know if you guys tried the color of pomegranates, raspberry pomegranate sour we had I guess we released it last Valentine's Day actually, and then we did another batch over the summer. And that really started off with Danielle saying, like, we really need, like, she loves sour beers. So she's a beer fan, but she's definitely, like, more on the sour kind of fruit end. And her, she basically came to us and was like, guys, like, we need pink beer. We gotta have something for the gram, and it's gotta taste good, and it's gotta have, raspberry sounds good, and I can't remember who said pomegranate, but, that's kind of how that came together, and then once we kind of start with that overall idea, we'll usually go right up with a recipe just to do like a really small pilot batch, which at the moment our pilot system's still just my old home brewing stuff.
Oh, right, so you just run that.
So it's like, we get like 20 liters out of it. It's not very much.
Oh, that's still cool.
It's like literally the mash tun's my old Coleman cooler, And so yeah, then we'll usually run a test on that system, and it's basically like homebrew at that point, right? So it's not as clean, it's not as like maybe refined as like the production scale stuff, but gives us an idea of what we're getting into, and if there's anything major, any like major flaws or anything that we would want to tweak, but, malt bill, the hopping rate or the hop bill, or even just the yeast strain that we're using.
Mm-hmm.
And then the way we've done it is we'll usually kind of during the silver months, so that we're not using up too much tank space, but we'll run kind of like a light release, like we kind of did with this, where we just fill up like half a fermenter basically, just so we have about 12 to 1,500 liters. It's enough to kind of put in our serving tank, fill some kegs, but we don't usually like package it in cans or anything like that. Although that has kind of changed because, I don't know, maybe you've seen, we've got kind of a generic label that we've been using as well for small releases. And then, if we're happy with that, then we'll try to like move it up to the next scale. We'll tweak it again. And then we'll go to our designers and say, hey, like, this is our idea. Or sometimes we have no idea and we're just like, here's the beer, what do you guys think? And they're great though, and they always come up with some really, fun, unique ideas. So.
That's awesome. I mean, the can for this is, I sent as soon as you had, because we had already discussed having this on, and it's the second you guys had posted on your Instagram about like with this, I sent it to Damon right away. I'm like, look at it, it's amazing.
Yeah, and then I like the color.
I mean, it's
different. Yeah, I haven't seen anything else like this out there.
No, it's very unique. I mean, it definitely has that like staycation Pink Guava feel.
Yeah.
Got the furniture, got the people ready for a pool party.
Yeah, they're leaping into the Chesterfield.
Yeah, it's perfect.
One of my favorite beers, which was actually a small batch, but I'm hoping that can come full time, is in the Hazy Smash.
Oh yeah,
that was good.
We'll definitely be doing that one again next harvest season.
Yeah, because that was like a very close local.
Yeah, so that was a fun collaboration as well. So there's a farm up, it's, I guess, if you know where North Bend is, it's north of North Bend, on the way to the Nahatlatch River Valley. And the Walters family has that farm up there. It's called the Washtalk family farm. And primarily, they're like a cattle ranch essentially. They sell, beef and, all that kind of stuff. Their beef is great, by the way, if anyone wants some like locally sourced good quality red meat. But Robert reached out to me, I guess a couple years ago at this rate, once he kind of heard about the brewery starting, and was like, hey, I want to get us into growing hops and whatever. So we've kind of kept in touch. And this he planted the vines a couple years ago, and this is kind of the first time they really did a proper harvest, I guess. But they're still kind of growing into that as well, so they're not really set up for pelletizing or anything like that yet. So we decided, the best way to use, use as much of that harvest as we could would be to use it as a, wet hop context where it's getting picked in the morning and essentially like going into the kettle in the afternoon.
Just right through.
Yeah, so that one was really fun. And a smash is single malt and single hop. So the single malt in this case was just like our pale base malt. And then the single hop is the Cascade hops that they grew up at the Washtalk family farm. And that one was exciting too because we kind of used a new process. We'd never done anything like that before. I think our batch size was, like about 1,500 liters or so, and we used like 95 pounds of these fresh hops in there, and it was so much hops, like we couldn't put it into our kettle or anything because it kind of jammed everything up. So we actually, after the boil was done, we kind of did a light whirlpool, and then we pumped it back into our mash tun after we'd given it like a quick clean and stuff, and then dumped the hops in there because there's that screen, and then we were able to really easily just filter the hops out, and then knock it out properly.
Wow, yeah.
Start fermentation.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that was just working with somewhere so local.
Yeah, like
Such a cool
I'm
thing.
originally from like the Boston bar area.
Oh, yeah,
So like I
nice.
saw that and I was like, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm excited to do it next year too, for sure.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, yeah, that was delicious. I mean, it's
yeah, I
like-
just like how like you guys like incorporate like local
local
stuff. It's just
Yeah,
It's
trying
cool.
to. I mean, I think, there's sort of two markets that we deal with here because, Hope is such a small town, but we definitely want to like appeal to locals and make it somewhere that like locals want to come and hang out
Yeah,
and
like-
drink the beer.
feels like home kind
Yeah, so some of our beers definitely have like a, nod to Hope, right? Like the dark side of town, that's a reference to the fact that
like half of hope.
there's a shadow for 3 months.
Yeah,
You know?
literally, yeah.
It's, I always joke that like half the town has seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah, it does.
For a while.
Yeah.
People love buying a house next to the lake because it's great for summer. But the second summer's over, you're in the dark all day. So
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, definitely we try to, give a nod towards Hope. And it's my hometown too. I moved away for a while, but back now, so.
yeah, I mean, no, it's really cool to see. I think lots of people in Hope can connect with it a lot closer because of that. You see a beer, dark side of town, oh, it's so funny. You might get someone just passing through. I mean, Hope is a very big nexus of the province, so tons of travelers. They might not see it the same way, but
And then what is it? Is it the Stranger on a Train? Right?
Stranger on a Train.
Like the can art, is that kind of like supposed to resemble like the fellow
Yeah.
tunnels?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
love that.
So it's Hella Tunnels, and then not for every release, but we've got a couple beers that are sort of like named after movies or like media in some way, right?
Yeah.
So, Stranger on a Train is a Alfred Hitchcock film. First Blood Orange, obviously, a reference to First Blood.
Yeah.
What are the other ones? Oh, This Cascadian Life. There's that podcast, This American Life.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
kind of ripped that out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I think maybe one or two of our small batches are. Oh, actually, The Color of Pomegranates is also. Look it up on YouTube. It's a weird movie.
Okay,
It's like a
The Color-
1960s Soviet.
And it's
Armenian
called Color of Pomegranates as well.
Color of Pomegranates. Yeah, it's just like it's like only visuals and sound. There's no dialogue, but there's like screens of text, but it's all in Armenian. So then there's just subtitles at the bottom.
That's
And it's,
look that up later.
it's about this like what is it? It's about this like kind of troubadour from I think the 18th century or something, who traveled around Armenia and like Georgia and stuff in the Caucasus. Anyways, check it out. It's different.
Yeah, we will. Well, we sadly only have such a limited time with these episodes. So, but we'd love to have you back if you for another one in the future where we
For
can
sure,
actually
yeah.
talk more and kind of do more. It's gonna be such a busy day, and the schedule is so tight. But something we do on the show, of course, is we give a ranking out of 100 of a beer. You don't have to rank this if you don't want to, but it is your beer. So, but if you would like to, you can start with the ranking out of 100.
Oh, if I said anything less than 100 though, I would be,
Yeah, I know. So feel free to say
my
100.
staff.
Feel free to say 100. I
Yeah,
I mean, this is an amazing beer. I think every beer from MountainView has been ranked so high.
I ranked First Blood Orange 100.
Yeah.
So-
It's awesome.
I can put you down for 100.
Sure, there
I'll
you
put you
go.
down for 100.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it feels very awkward ranking a beer right now. We had actually talked before you got here. I said, Damon, are we gonna rank this beer? And he said, we kind of have to. It's the whole premise of the show. I said,
Yeah.
I know, but are we gonna rank this beer?
Gotta do it.
We have to do it. But
I'll
I
still
love
come
this.
back, don't worry.
Oh, fantastic! Thank you. Well, I mean, I love this beer. The highest, I know it's out of 100, but for some context, the highest I've ever ranked a beer has been 92, because I feel like ranking a beer 100 when the whole premise of the show is ranking beers, at least for us, seems a bit like I shouldn't rank it 100.
I'm a firm believer that perfect marks is never list.
No, exactly.
For the
So
record.
92.
So strike my 100 from the record. But.
Okay. Well, 92 has only gotten 2 beers. It went to the what was the first one it went to? Keeper's Lighthouse Brewing on the island, Keeper's Dry Irish Stout, and Dark Side of Town. They're my two favorite beers I think
I
ever.
do like that Irish Stout.
It's really good. That one and Dark Side of Town are my 2 favorite beers I think I've ever had. So just so you know, anything I rank, picture 92 is my 100.
Okay.
That's the best I really ever give anything. I refuse to rank things 90 or above unless it's like basically a stout kind of. It's just what I love. I'm gonna give it an 89 as well, like we gave the last one, because I love this beer as well. This one's great, especially like having it now that it's, you guys have polished it and you've done so much work with it with the Pink Guava and everything. It's really, I mean, it's phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, like lately I've been like a big hazy IPA guy. Like I think the last one we had that I was a big fan of was was it Ghost Ship?
Ghost Ship.
By the
Also Lighthouse.
Lighthouse, which is a really good hazy. But yeah, this one's good. Like it's just like everything that I look for in just like an IPA. I like the fruitiness. So yeah, I'm gonna give it like it's tough.
No pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure, no pressure.
Well, no, it's gonna be high. I'm gonna say.
It's just tough picking a number generally.
Yeah,
So,
it is because like I'm shuffling. I'm gonna give it a 96.
96.
Yeah.
High praise.
Yeah.
Yep. So okay, well, should we find the middle?
Yeah.
Okay. The first episode we ever did, just for context, for the stupid thing we're about to do. Every episode since the first one, we couldn't figure out what the middle was, so we started counting up and down until we found it. And it was, it's ridiculous, it makes us look stupid.
Yeah.
But now we just kind of do it because it's tradition.
Yeah.
We're not, it hasn't been that long since we've been in school. We can at least do it. Anyways, 90. 95.
Yeah,
95. Yeah, 91.
94.
92.
93.
93. So, sorry, wait, did I start? Oh man, we're terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what, 93 is good.
93, yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah, that's close
Rounding
enough.
here.
Yeah, going to points is just annoying. So, 93.
93, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. This is a delicious beer. It was awesome. I mean, thank you for bringing it on.
I love this one.
We did not pick this one up. You guys, if you haven't, for everybody at home, wherever you are watching this, you can watch it and listen to it literally anywhere. We haven't been paying much attention to you. If you're in the area, go to MountainView. Of course, you have to. We say that all the time because we go to MountainView a lot. So obviously, I'm gonna reiterate: keep going to MountainView.
Just
Keep
like
pushing.
biased.
We are.
As am I.
Oh, we are so. Yeah, this is the most biased, focus group we've ever had for anything. It's every time Mountain View's on. It's we even debated letting you pick First Blood Orange because we knew you would rank it at.
I know.
All the beers we picked were basically ones we already had. For that episode, we had 2 of our friends on. We had done a 4-pack for episode 5, which was our first Mountain View episode. And we went big because, of course, it's Mountain View. And it was our first guest episode, and it was at debate if we let Damon buy First Blood Orange.
I didn't buy First Blood Orange though.
Oh no, it
Harry
was
did.
It was another person. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's how
I was like, I won't buy it. And
That's how you
got
got
it.
it.
And I was like, hey, well, I
forgot about that. Of course. Yeah. But no, this has been phenomenal. Thank you, Adam, for being on. What's the hours of the brewery? If people are looking to come by.
Yeah, we're kind of moving into some more wintry hours, I guess. So it's gonna be 3 to 9, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 10, Friday, Saturday, and 2 to 9 on Sundays.
Awesome.
Next,
That's awesome. Well, we can't wait to see more of you, see more of you guys, see what else is coming up. Any of those little collaborations.
I'll give you guys a sneak peeks after you stop recording.
Oh, I can't wait. Okay, you're gonna start recording fast. Well, you should keep watching every day. We are going to be getting drunker until the end of December. Don't tell, I don't know, my grandparents. They don't even know this. You guys, check us out at Brew Buddies on Instagram. We're on everywhere you listen to podcasts. Probably. If we're not, let us know, and maybe I'll put us on there. We're not going on Amazon Music. That's been decided. At the beginning of this episode, it was decided we will not be on Amazon Music. Unless, and I'm not signing all those agreement waivers. Anyways, take care. We will see you tomorrow for another episode. Bye. Merry Brewmas.